You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
We rushed at the double quick boldly forward into the mouth of hell, into the jaws of death. As Major General George Meade's army tried desperately to withstand the Confederate assault on the afternoon of July 2nd, 1863, one division stood out as they performed critical duty in the effort to hold the line. Join us as we sweep the Wheatfield, as Brigadier General John Caldwell's men did on that deadly afternoon. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this final promo for the final tour, the final Get Out of the Car tour of 2022. Can you believe we're here already? Here we are. Lewis, Caldwell's division in the Wheatfield. Big saviors, Caldwell's division, aren't they?
I'd like to point out, we're talking Yankees.
Yes, we are talking Yankees.
Yeah.
The last two are Yankees.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Why Caldwell's division? You know, the genesis, I like when I say big things. It makes me sound smarter than I am.
And everybody's thinking, what the hell does Phil Collins have to do with this?
The idea for this came from another tour that I gave one of your listeners, Joe. And he had this group where during the pandemic, he made a lot of friends online, much like the Gettysburg
a lot of us
crowd.
did, yeah.
And they requested me for a 3-hour tour in the Wheatfield with all these young folks that came from all over the country. And it's the first time they ever met in person.
Was that in August?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was warm, but we walked the Wheatfield. We did the entire thing. I did the entire thing. It's probably a little more than 3 hours. But I had a good time. I knew I couldn't do the same thing for this because it would take too long. Mm-hmm. But the way Caldwell's division lines up, I think I could cover that in the 2-hour time block, do some walking, and talk about what they do that afternoon, July 2nd. Again, a lot of people are fascinated with the Wheatfield. A lot of people find it confusing. Hopefully, at the end of these, it'll be less confusing. If not, maybe I've confused them. I don't know.
Well,
we'll give it our best shot.
I mean, the Wheatfield, it's a seesaw type of thing, right? It's back and forth. So are we going to go like follow Crawford in and then follow him as he gets pushed back? And then,
well, we won't follow him out.
See, but I think
that's
that
the
would
idea
really
we thought of, walking from Father Corby's monument down through the Wheatfield.
Right. I think that's a great idea.
Probably, depending on what it looks like, the weather and stuff, we could walk through the woods up to Brook Avenue, or we can walk around East Detroit Brand coming around to Brook Avenue. But we'll see how far they push.
But you know what? I think is cool is that you had mentioned starting at Father Corby, and if you walk from Father Corby, you can go through what the horses use now.
Yeah,
but that trail was there, if I'm not mistaken, and it was between the two Weichert farms. Yeah. And unless somebody's taking a horse. No, I don't think the horse tours even go on that. I think that's where I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is that you get to see, going that way, a part of the park that I guarantee most people, unless they get out and walk a lot, have not seen. Yeah. And that would be cool. Yeah. To just trace their route that way. Essentially,
that's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, and then we don't need to go back and forth.
No.
But it would be cool to go from there all the way to as far as they went on Brook Avenue.
Yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll talk about how they get. They're not really piecemealed out, but they're sent in certain directions. Right. We'll talk about that and the fates of their various commanders, and the Wheatfield is just a ton of stories, like a lot of spots. But the Wheatfield just seems to have an extraordinary amount. And I didn't plan it this way. Again, we've ordered these tours by weather conditions, what we think it'll be, crops growing, et cetera.
Yeah.
But we bookend the summer with 2 Wheatfield tours.
2 Wheatfields.
So we got Kershaw to kick it off in April, and then we'll end it up with
So if
Caldwell.
you come to April, you learn about the attackers. And then if you come to October, you learn about the defenders, the counterattackers, actually.
Yeah, Zook and
And what happened to them? And then you'll get the complete story of the Wheatfield, but not unless you do April and October. You must do them both, otherwise you'll never know.
You'll never.
There's no way. There's no other way to find out what happened.
Put Wheatfield out of your mind, then.
That's right.
Never read about it again. But we'll talk about what they do, and again, that's Hancock on the second day. He's very active. He's told, if Sickles needs some support, you need to give it to him. So he pulls a piece of his line off and sends it south. And so,
yeah. All right. Well, so the meeting point for this, though, we have not yet determined as of January 22nd, 2022, 1/22/22. We have not decided where we're going to start because it's kind of tricky.
We're trying to figure out if we can do what we want to do.
Right. So
which we just
will
talked about.
I will either edit in an addendum to this recording, if addendum is the word I'm looking for, or just go to addressinggettysburg.com, find the Get Out of the Car Tours tab, and by the time of the tour, we will have figured this out.
If not, we've got problems.
If we can't do it in 10 months, we're pathetic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lewis, I say this ahead of time, but I'm most confident that it will hold true in October. Thank you for a great season of tours yet again. Look forward to next year being the 4th year that you'll be doing this.
You know what? Part of the fun of this is the tour. I do spend a lot of time preparing for it. I want it to be quality. I want people to enjoy coming out for these. But then the tour ends, and somebody sponsors these things, an eating establishment. And I've had a great time talking to people. I always make sure I stick around and go to the sponsor, whether it's the Farnsworth House or Mason-Dixon Distillery. I've had the best time talking to people at those two places and the great food. So, if you come to a tour, I encourage you to stick around and go to lunch. I usually hang out for like an hour and a half because usually Sunday morning I got to be back up for a bike tour. But it's always good food, and I like meeting all these people and talking to them. I've met some of the best people.
I know. Honestly, and this is nothing against you, but I look forward to the post-tour link, the eating and the drinking. No, I look forward to the socializing afterwards because, this sounds really corny and probably people roll their eyes and think it's not true, but it absolutely is. I appreciate all these people.
I do.
I appreciate them for everything they do during the show or for the show. For the whole effort, and them coming and supporting it and everything like that. It means a lot to me. It really does.
Interesting people. I met a guy, I can't remember his name. I know him if I see him. He used to, I don't know if he still does. He was the film guy for NFL Films.
Oh, that's
so he'd go around. He's the guy. I grew up on NFL Films and stuff.
Oh, I know his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And then we got the guy with the T-shirt. I'll talk about him.
Alex, the turncoat or the turn T-shirt.
Yeah, but Ty, they're all good people.
Yeah, Ty brings his stickers, and you can get stickers.
He does a great job.
He does.
But again, how do you learn how to do this? It's fascinating.
How do you learn how to do what?
To make these stickers and that artistic ability and stuff. It just amazes me.
It's God does that.
Well, he didn't say that.
You don't learn how to do it. You learn how to hone it. But you're born with it. And
But I wouldn't know these things if I didn't hang around afterwards and talk to all these different people.
Exactly. Well, it is fun to do, and that is. I'm always surprised when people don't come because it's like you don't want to hang out with these people. Like, what are you, a snob?
Sometimes they got stuff to do, but
that's an
if they never stay and hang out, well, they're telling you something.
They're just using me for my free tours.
I hear that's a big thing.
It's rampant. It's running rampant now. So anyway. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again for a great season. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you out there in TV land. And thank you out there in podcast land. And we will, have a great winter. Stay warm. Enjoy the holiday season.
It's going to be sweating when you hear this.
Yeah. And, I'm interested to actually go and listen to this when it's released to see, just how awful or how mediocre or great situation the country is in by October of this year.
Your first thought's going to be when you listen to all this.
What?
I can't believe we kept making fun of Abner Cowan. It was so stupid.
This is twice now. I didn't shove Abner Cowan into this.
We've gotten him in all of them except the first one. We need to go back and do Kershaw and just bring in Abner Cowan.
Kershaw, Abner Cowan.
Wasky Wabbits.
Yes. Wobbit Wodes. And George Sykes. That doesn't really do it. Oh no, that's not Crawford. All right. Anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.
Our hearts so stout have got us fame, for soon 'tis known from whence we came. Wherever we go, they dread the name of Gary Owen in glory. Instead of spa or drink down ale and pay the reckoning on the nail, no man forget shall go to jail from Gary Owen in glory. Instead of spa or drink down ale and pay the reckoning on the nail, no